Good morning, and welcome to a fine episode of Monday Morning Coffee with Josh. Hope you guys had a fun time change. If you didn't know, we gained an hour apparently, but lost daylight. So that's a sweet trade-off in my book. No, it's not. So this week, I didn't get a new coffee because I was lazy and I was pretty backed up on brews. So I decided to make a concoction in my espresso maker, which I decided to do some pumpkin spice with a little bit of cinnamon. And I think I perfected this from last time. Before I kind of just put a little bit in there, but this time I found the technique works really well as you layer it. So you put a little espresso in your espresso thing, put a little pumpkin spice in there, a little more espresso, pumpkin spice, bada bing, bada boom, you get a nice brew. So let's see how I did today. It's pretty spicy. Like not hot spicy, but it's like there's definitely some spices in there. You can definitely taste all the spices. Would I make this again? Probably I would pick one spice over the other and not do two. Two is a little bit too much spice in my life. If I half spiced it, it probably would have been the perfect amount. So I would give that like a 6 because it wasn't great. I wouldn't make it again with that amount of spices. So you're probably wondering, hey Josh, what did you do this weekend? And well, what I did this weekend is go to a baby shower. And you may be thinking, Josh, you're a guy, what were you doing in the baby shower? And I say, I don't know what I was doing at a baby shower, because for centuries guys weren't allowed, and apparently there's a new thing where guys are allowed in the baby shower. And yeah, it was all right. So there was food there. There's no baby. There was no baby at the baby shower, but there was a lot of gifts. So it was like Christmas. It was like watching Christmas, but none of the gifts were for you. So I guess I wasn't really missing out, but I think it was a good baby shower. So I'm going to throw that in there. Gonna have another drink. So what I want to talk about today about more in the fitness realm, the mental realm of things, is when it comes to habits. Habits are what create us. We are a bunch of habits, probably, with personality. Okay. But what we want to work on really is kind of knowing your habits, knowing that we have good habits and we have not so good habits. And the not so good habits, especially when it comes to, since this is a health and fitness blog, doing to weight loss, weight gain, whatever, just kind of knowing which ones are going to be your triggers. So for me personally, since I know myself really well, I think these are common for most people, is the idea of binge eating. And not necessarily, so that's probably the biggest one I run into is mindless eating. It's so easy to do while you're watching TV, reading a book, while you're bored, just binge eating. But kind of knowing the triggers that set that off. For me, stress sets that off. Loneliness sets that off. Stress. So anything like that, or even boredom will set that off for me. So knowing those triggers kind of helps me to then set myself up for success. So I know that in certain situations at home by myself, I may get kind of lonely and want to eat, or I may get bored. So either getting me outside the house is a good thing, or if that's not possible, then the best thing I can do is not allow certain things into the house to begin with. So when I do fall for that trigger and I want to eat something, well, there's nothing really in the house, and most likely I'm not going to go out and get something. So that's one solution. It doesn't actually really get rid of the bad habit, but what it does is I'm aware of my triggers, and when something does set them off, I'm in an area that I can't really fall into that habit. So that's one way to kind of help. So what you get better at over time is actually planning out and knowing what sets it off, and then having, when that does get set off, you're in a good place that there's not a whole lot you can do with it. So hopefully that makes sense. The big thing is know your triggers, kind of be prepared, and set yourself up in a good environment that if they are triggered or when they're triggered, you can be pretty successful. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you have nothing, then you can go check out my website at josh@williamstrainingsystems.com, or if you're feeling lonely, you can always shoot me an email at josh@williamstrainingsystems.com. And if none of that suits you, then I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, or week. Good week.